I'm very pleased to hear that this year, 2013, May 18th, will hold a memorial ceremony for Lord Jigten Sumgon. So, Lord Jigten Sumgon was a teacher who came in Tibet in the 12th century, and he has a long and profound history, which is very important to know. Not just when, when we have the ceremony or memorial services to bring his blessings. It's not enough just say some prayers and do some blessings. Basically or generally, Buddha's teaching is to understand, and while we're in the samsara and while we continue to study, practice the Dharma teachings. Especially Lord Jigten Sumgon's case, his life, if you recollect, that since he was born, he continued meeting different great spiritual masters, including his root teacher, Phamodropa. He received teachings, studied, and then put into practice. After Phamodropa passed away, then he went to retreat for 7 years with a great hardship, and eventually he revealed his total enlightened mind, which means he attained complete Buddhahood. Even though we call him, he was reincarnation of Nagarjuna, but regardless his previous lives, but he utilized all this life studying, practicing. So until he attained Buddhahood, enlightenment, then he became famous because of his great bodhicitta, the composition of the wisdom and the compassion. So his compassion reached to all the sentient beings. Because of sentient beings have been getting benefit from his teachings because of his great skill giving teachings. So thousands and thousands of disciples from all over Tibet, from China, from India, Nepal, started gathering under his guidance. And that's how he became famous. Not because of telling him that he was the reincarnation of Nagarjuna. So his teaching, where he taught, is based on Buddha's teaching. Nothing but Buddha's teaching. Because Buddha was, our historical Buddha, was enlightened, which means that his wisdom was infinite and perfect. There's no any mistake on this. So that's why he said we totally have to rely, or strictly rely on Buddha's teachings. And then the Buddha's teaching brought into lineage from Buddha until that up to him or up to us. So I have to rely on those great teachers who have studied and practiced Buddha's teaching. And then not only that, then one has to experience through study and practice. So then also, according to the interdependence of the stories, related stories, Buddha's time or later or before, like Jakarta tell, like this. So through these four valid, Lord Jigten Sumgon taught all his teachings. That's why his disciples became expert in their understanding of the Buddha's teaching. And it's not that enough. He put so much emphasis on the meditation practice. That's why in his later life, he is sent, like say, 55,000 disciples to Mount Kailash and Lakchi Snow Mountain, where Milarepa is at enlightened, and Tsari Mountain, those three famous mountains. And he asked them, until you experience the Dharma teachings, don't come back. So those are things very important to reflect. How he promoted the teachings to the sentient beings. Not just Buddhism as a tenet, but how Buddhism can be served to the sentient beings to free from this cause of suffering. Because it is clear, every sentient being, not only human being, even small insects, from the innate of the mind, we all desire for peace and happiness. There's no question about that. Everybody desires to free from suffering, even they know or don't know what suffering is and cause of suffering is. But just from the innate of the mind, they just desire to free from suffering. It's universal. It's not a Buddhist belief or it's somebody culture's belief. Even they don't believe in a religion, but their desire for peace and happiness. Maybe they don't know what happiness is about, but still they want to have peace and harmony. While they're making mistake, still they want to have peace and happiness. They want to free from suffering. So this clearly explained and taught by Lord Jigten Sumgon. How Buddhism is not just only for Buddhists, but Buddhism, what Buddha taught, is for every sentient being. So I think this message is very important when you commemorate Lord Jigten Sumgon's life and do his pujas. It's just, as I mentioned, it's not just enough. Just say a few prayers. Prayers are important. It's good, but not enough, because it's the dealing with the mind. Mind is belong to the individuals. My mind is belong to me. So whether I want to go to hell realm or whether I want to achieve Buddhahood is totally depend on me. Nobody can switch, change, and do things for me. Buddha can come and teach me what to do, what not to do. But Buddha cannot take my hand and say, let's go to Nirvana. So therefore, why Buddha taught so much, there's a lot of sutras, teachings, explain about these things. Likewise, Lord Jigten Sumgon. So when we do this on the May 18th, the memorial puja, it's this very important message of how Lord Jigten Sumgon passed down these unique teachings. It's not just Buddhist belief, but it's how universally constituted the causality of all phenomena, both samsara and nirvana. So these are things. So, for just the teachings that what we have, that right now, or these days, what he passed down, they are what's called the outer teachings and inner teachings of his, which may be like 12 or 13 or 14 volumes. But most well-known teachings that what we study is the Khenchen Konchog, the stages of the path, the Lamrim, both Sutra and the Tantra system. And the Tantra system, it sometimes, as you see, little controversial. Even some Buddhist school will say Tantra is not Buddha taught, because it has some different types of practices. That's it is understandable, but it is very important to understand the correct teachings or how to communicate, how Buddha taught the Tantra. The non-virtue in the Vinaya cannot be virtue in the Vajrayana, in the Tantra. So that we need such a great and good teacher and have to understand carefully. Yes, Buddha taught the Tantra teachings, but in a taught way how to eliminate all the confusion, not to create more confusion. And this is, I think, our responsibility, how to communicate, how to translate the meaning. Not just say in Vajrayana this all allowed, which are not allowed in the Vinaya. That's not the point. So it's very important to study his teaching, which is called Khenchen Konchog, the heart essence of Mahayana teaching. And the second one is Gongchik. I'm sure many people have heard of that. It has 150 Vajra statements, or close to 200. Each Vajra statement has a very profound meaning. It's very unique how Jigten Sumgon has communicated. It requires a lot of time and a lot of skill to go to the depth of the meaning, because in the surface, maybe not so easy to penetrate. So I here, taking this opportunity, request and ask all the participants spend more time on those things, not just ceremony, not just puja, not just involve just activities, things, but contemplate within the mind, so that we can get really good benefit since we involve in the Buddha's teaching. Because it's the mind. The mind is very complex, very profound, and it's infinite. At the same time, it's very simple. Neither exists nor none exists. It's very complicated. It's not a matter. Cannot measure by the machine, no matter what kind of profound machine there is. It can only measured by the vipassana and vipassana and the shamatha, the special insight and the total equipoise. Through these two methods, can capture the quality of the mind, that which takes a long time. So this is dealing with the Lord Jigten Sumgon's memorial puja.